Welcome to the Markets with Christy. I'm Leah Patterson and I am here with investment advisor Christy Cromer. Today we're going to be talking about something that touches nearly every retiree, Social Security, and specifically the new cost of living adjustment that's about to be announced. So, Christy, the COLA is designed to help benefits keep pace with inflation. Does it really make a big difference?
It does, Leah, because the cost of living adjustment provides purchasing power during retirement. And so we're going to talk about it in a little bit. That announcement's going to be made later this month, and they're expecting it to be about 2.7%.
Wow. So how should we be thinking about Social Security in an overall retirement plan?
Well, it's definitely part of the fiscal house. Okay, so at Trilogy Wealth Management, when we work with retirees, we build a fiscal house. And so the most important part of that fiscal house is the foundation. And in that foundation is where Social Security income is housed, along with other parts of retirement income.
Y'all have heard us talk about that fiscal house before. So what about our wealthier retirees? How should they approach Social Security?
Well, we actually work with a lot of retirees who have done a really good job saving for retirement. And so when we talk about Social Security income in that particular scenario, they usually tend to take their Social Security income sooner rather than later, and they use that to keep from depleting their saved assets, and they use it for fund money.
I've heard some retirees say, the COLA will take care of inflation for me, but is that true?
Well, that's kind of a little tricky there, Leah. So, for those scenarios where your foundation is primarily made up of Social Security income, that is a big, that would be a good inflation adjustment. But say for wealthier clients who have more income coming from other sources, they need to make those adjustments for inflation. And that's why it's so important to work with an advisor to put together a retirement income plan, because it's actually most important when you're retired how you delegate those assets to work for you and to be sure that you have inflation adjustment.
So the COLA and Social Security in general are important, but they should be seen as pieces of a larger income puzzle. Is that right?
That is correct. So again, we go back to the fiscal house, foundation being the most important part of your retirement plan. You want to have, who wants to retire and not know where your income is coming from?
No one.
Nobody.
Talk about stressful.
So when people, one of the things that really alarms retirees is, where is my income going to come from, right? So you ask me, is there pieces of a larger income puzzle? Normally there are, because we work with a lot of people who have done a good job saving in 401k or TSP, 403b. If they've done a really good job, then we put those assets to work for them, and that comes out as retirement income, which is a bigger piece of the puzzle over Social Security.
Well, on that, if you'll just go over some article highlights for us for the week.
I'll be glad to. So, as I mentioned earlier, on October the 15th, Social Security will announce the cost of living adjustment for 2026. Now, that won't take effect until January, but we're expecting those projections to be around 2.7% for next year. At the same time, the Social Security Administration is phasing out paper checks.
Whoa,
that could be big news.
Yes.
So for you retirees who are not real comfortable with electronic deposits, you might want to be talking to yourself about that, because starting September the 30th, 2025, you will no longer receive Social Security checks via mail. All payments must be electronic. That means direct deposit. So prepare yourself. Also, the Social Security Fairness Act of 2025 eliminated the windfall elimination provision, shortened to WEP, and government pension offset, GPO, which is good news and may increase benefits for many public sector retirees. For example, people that could be affected by this are those people who've worked in the fire department or railroad. So good things are coming, sounds like.
All things to be keeping our eye out for. All right, so now we'll go into a little lighter note. We'll have our dad joke of the week. I don't have Michael here with me this time, so I don't know if we'll find it as funny as he finds some of them. So, what state is known for its small drinks?
You want me to guess?
Guess. Give me your best educated guess.
Minnesota.
Oh, she cheated.
You're right.
That is it. Minnesota. Now on to our Say What of the week. There is a very mean squirrel that has been seeking food and has sent at least 2 people to the ER in a California city. So residents of a San Francisco Bay Area city are on the lookout for an aggressive squirrel that has sent at least 2 people to the emergency room for medical treatment. Both were attacked by the squirrel in the same vicinity. So we can only hope that they find this squirrel sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's go into some history for the week.
Boy, and I am full of knowledge for history of the week. Back in 1781, I have to say a little before my time, Americans defeated the British at Yorktown.
And also this week in 1859, John Brown raids Harper's Ferry.
1877, the U.S. takes possession of Alaska.
And in 1912, Theodore Roosevelt was shot in the chest and finished his speech. Wow.
Impressive.
Yeah, I can't say I would be able to do that.
1931, Al Capone convicted of tax evasion. So let's move on to going back to what did it cost. Let's talk about apples, and let's say we're buying 3 pounds of apples. So in 1975, the cost of 3 pounds of apples were 59 cents.
Wow.
You can't buy anything for 59
No, you
cents.
can't. Not even a sucker.
In 2005, the price was $3.87. This year, 2025, $4.29. That's why it's so important to plan for inflation when you're preparing for retirement.
Absolutely.
If you're listening right now and you've saved a nice nest egg for retirement, we can help you at Trilogy Wealth Management get clarity on Social Security. Maybe when to start. If you're married filing jointly, do you and your spouse both take now, or does one of you wait longer? Those are things that we talk about when we meet with our clients. Also, just like we said earlier, nobody wants to retire and not know where their income is coming from. So we put together a retirement income plan. We call it a Bridge to Tomorrow. And that way you know exactly what your assets can do for you from now until age 100. So we would love for you to reach out to me and our team to get a Social Security analysis. We can also put together your written retirement income plan. So if you're looking at retirement, maybe you've already retired, but And maybe you have a financial advisor, but you're not having these kinds of conversations. We would love to give you a second opinion.
Absolutely. As Christy said, there is no time to wait, and let's take the guesswork out of it. The COLA is just one piece of the puzzle. Your retirement deserves a bigger plan. So call us today at 256-467-4382. We would love the opportunity to help you.